two questions. The first one is, how big is your association? And second, how big is your association?
Oh, association?
Yeah, and then second one is, are you looking for complete independence in your association, or are you looking for something that stays along with what His Holiness the Dalai Lama is asking for on the genuine autonomy?
Thank you very much. These are very important questions. First one, our association is it's Uyghur American Association. We represent all the Uyghurs in the United States. We have only one association here, and we're based in, of course, our office is based in Washington, D.C. Our members are from different United States, of course. And regarding the second question, I think that comes up all the time for the Uyghurs, for the Tibetans, for the Mongols. Now, that's the first question pretty much anybody asks, whether you want independence, you want to be part of China. I think, our Mongolian friend earlier, I think he basically stated eloquently. He said, if you ask the people, maybe 99% people, Tibetans, you as a Tibetan, want independence. The Uyghurs want independence, Tibetans want independence, and the Mongols want independence. The reason is because they simply believe they cannot live like human beings under Chinese rule. Because in addition to occupying East Turkestan, Southern Mongolia, the Chinese government did not, for the past 6 decades, treat any groups well. Of course, they didn't treat Chinese well either. But the thing is, brutalize the entire population. And the policy trend is to get rid of these people, really. They want the land and the resources, the Chinese government. Chinese government doesn't want Tibetans, Uyghurs, Mongols. The Chinese government wants the land. And one interesting thing is, after July 5th of 2009 unrest, and 2 months later, Han Chinese took the streets to protest. They said, "维族人滚出去，新疆是我们的." That's what they say. Yeah, the Chinese, they came. No, they came as immigrants to our land, just like to your country, Tibet. They say, "新疆人滚出去." They say, 你们穆斯林，你们滚到中东去，新疆是我们的. You know, this is a kind of treatment we're getting from not only the Chinese government, sometimes unfortunately from nationalistic, probably, but innocent yet brainwashed Han Chinese people. And what do you expect the Uyghurs or ordinary Tibetans or Mongols say? They all, if they are given a choice, I think most Tibetans, most Uyghurs, most Mongols, they all want independence. But as a representative of the Uyghur, as a head of an association, our position is we support His Holiness, his middle way approach. We hope that bears fruit because we have been, of course, watching closely the Tibetan government's interaction with the Chinese government. So far, I believe the government has 9 rounds of negotiations with the Chinese, which bore no fruit at all. Our understanding is the Chinese government really used that to buy time, really to deceive the Tibetans into believing that the Chinese government will cut a separate deal with Tibet. But in fact, is ready to deceive the Tibetans and the international community, make them feel like at the end of the day, there is a deal. That when China becomes much stronger in position, then everything is off the table. It looks like that right now, of course. I do not know what is going on, under the table. Hopefully that's still ongoing. Hopefully China is still negotiating with your government in exile. Hopefully some kind of deal can be made. Then that can become a precedent for the Uyghurs, I think for the Mongols, and for other groups to follow. But we're not seeing that at the moment. But the thing is, we want a peaceful political settlement. We welcome the Chinese government to come to a table to discuss, like we're discussing today, the options. Of course, realistically, we know there is no way we Uyghurs or Tibetans or Mongols can fight against China and to declare independence. We know that's impossible. But we are realistic. Our hope is, the problem of China is really, it's not the Chinese people, it's the Chinese Communist Party. So when Chinese Communist Party is gone, when China truly becomes a democracy, then probably there will be a choice. I think then the Uyghurs, Tibetans, Mongols, and other groups probably have the right for self-determination. I think at the end of the day, it really depends on how, whatever the Chinese government, this one or the next one, treats Uyghurs, Tibetans, Mongols well or not. That really depends on what each group seeks. Thank you.
So next, actually, due to time, let's just take two questions to ask the questions, Professor Shah and Mr. Pinoza. So let's take the questions first all together, and Professor Shah, please.
That's a very brief question. How large is the size of this East Turkestan in the sense of the square kilometers?
Thank you. And Mr. Pinoza.
我的问题是，这个我们知道在东土的话，就是那个中学、小学，都是这个强迫用汉语授课，这个其实是一个非常严重的犯罪，我认为，这就是这个强杀，血腥流血事件是没什么两样。但是我听说呢，是75事件以后，好像是已经有点类似那个不了了之，好像已经中国政府不太强调这个用汉语授课，维吾尔人必须到汉校区上课用汉语授课制。这我经过小道消息得到，就是像这个艾玛先生，请问这个事情到现在是个什么样的状况？谢谢。
The size of East Turkestan is really what it is. We don't have any extra demands or less demands. And the territory is a little bit over 1.8 million square kilometers, I believe. So that's pretty much the size. Yeah. And regarding the education, should I speak in English or Chinese? Let me Chinese. I'll do my best in Chinese. I'm forgetting a lot of Chinese. 这个就是汉语教学，所谓的双语。中国共产党，你看宣传是多么的虚假，他们叫是双语，实际上是单语，实际上是汉语，没有什么双语教育，实际上就是把维语淘汰，用汉语来教学。我的姐姐她是教师，她现在必须用汉语来给她自己的维族学生教课。她要是不用汉语，用维语给她的维吾尔学生讲课的话，她就被赶走。他的学校里面有很多和他一起以前给就是维族学生用维语来讲课的老师，他们对他们自己的课题非常熟悉，非常好，他们都是教授。但问题是，他们没有能力用汉语来讲同样的课，他们全被赶走了，他们全被然后用从口内来的汉族教师来代替的。现在情况就是这样。75以后，中国的政策不是说什么软化。不提双语教育，实际上是强加双语教育。75之后，也就是从那个新疆会议以后，2010年5月，胡锦涛领导的那个新疆会议以后，他们说的，我们应该强化这个速度，也就是汉语化。我们只要把维吾尔民族的语言消灭掉，他们不懂他们的语言以后，他们就不可以读他们的历史书，他们也不知道他们的历史，他们也不知道他们的未来。我们这样可以很迅速的同化他们，然后把东土耳其斯坦的各地，把哈什呀，把北方、南方都分给广东、山东各个，搞成是开发区，所以广东省他们可以来投资，这个地就变成他们的，他们可以把那个维族人赶走，建高楼大厦，然后移民，然后这高楼大厦非常昂贵，维族人买不了那些房子，然后汉族人他们来买，比例说就是哈什。哈什是维吾尔最古老的一个城市，它有2000多年的历史。哈什古城，中国政府现在基本上把它拆完了，把维族人全赶走掉了。他们说维族人非常高兴，他们非常喜欢在1套2那个楼上生存，把整个城市，然后把这个搞成那个就是开发区，然后现在从深圳他们在盖很多高楼大厦。当外国记者问这些就是卖那些房子的。那一些汉族小姐说：“你们为什么没有就是维语的那个要卖的房子？”他们说是没有必要，因为维族人买不起，只有汉族人可以买，是这么回事。 所以现在是不仅仅是高压严打维族人，从各方面去消灭语言文化各方面，就是加速同化，就是这么回事。
Thank you very much.
There is growing interest. I think probably we should spend a couple, maybe another 5-10 minutes. 5 more, yes.
5 more minutes? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Actually, next panel is continue this kind of discussion.
Yeah.
Next panel.
Okay.
5 more minutes, then next.
I thought that gentleman was first, but I don't know which one.
I think he is first.
Yeah. Please. Yes.
So stay on the side.
下个 panel. Next panel.
懂维族的那小孩，你能不能不送他去那个双语教学的那个学校去，自己在家里教他们，行不行呢？这样的话就可以保持你们的传统啊，你们的文化。
我想这个问题，我想要是一个语言跟政治认同上面的问题。就是有没有一种可能是维吾尔族的第2代，其实他们甚至是主动想学习汉语，或者甚至是英语，以进入这个主流的汉语世界，甚至是跳过汉语世界，直接与世界接轨，以这种方式来跟中国汉族的主流社会竞争。
你能不能用另一个任意个其他方式来问的同样的问题？It's a little confusing.
Okay, the problem is that I have a friend who study, who does a field work in Xinjiang, and she found a very interesting phenomenon, which is there are many English languages schools established over there, and many parents send their children to those prep school to study English. They think that's the best way to compete with the Han Chinese in order to get into the mainstream Chinese society. So I don't know if do you have any comments on this kind of phenomenon? And also that would be linked to my guessing that actually probably many weaker people who their parents are weaker people also want their children to learn Han Chinese in order to compete with the Han people and get to the better position in the future.
Thank you, and 2 very important questions. Regarding not sending our kids to Chinese schools, first, from right now the Chinese government policies from kindergarten all the way to college are Chinese. So even our parents send kids to kindergarten, it's Chinese. Even though the teacher is Uyghur, she has to teach in Chinese. So that's it. And there is no way they cannot send. If they don't send, it's against Chinese government policy in one way. Maybe in rural areas they can do that, but that's the only school available. If they don't send their kids to school, then they will grow up with illiterate, no education. So they have no choice but to send, even though that's a Chinese school. No way, So it's they can't homeschool like the U.S. recognize homeschooling if you educate your children if they pass state tests. But that does not exist in China, so that's impossible. They have sent their kids to basically so-called bilingual schools. And regarding your question, first of all, I speak 3 languages. I used to speak Chinese like a Chinese, but after 16 years in the U.S., rarely speaking Chinese, I'm forgetting a lot. And plus, a lot of new Chinese phrases, words came out. I love language. I love to learn more. I'm very interested in studying French. Similarly, the Uyghurs love language. Uyghurs are very good with languages, like Mongols and other peoples. Very good. And if you go to Urumqi, you'll see Uyghurs speak Chinese like so well. Uyghurs are not against studying another language, whether Chinese, English, doesn't matter what language. We love language. We believe that, of course, if you knew know another language is another window of opportunity. Not just compete with the Han Chinese or in a market, in an employment market. Of course, it will enhance your edge. But the thing is, that's not what's happening here. It is the Chinese state is systematically trying to destroy our language so that to assimilate the Uyghur people. But it's true, your friend in Urumqi has seen that a lot of Uyghur, the open, even Chinese open English language classes open. When I was in Urumqi, I taught English 2 years part-time to the Uyghurs. And a lot of these Uyghurs, they can pick up English like this, although they don't speak Chinese. Some of them, they don't speak Chinese, they speak English. And I'm not saying they should not learn Chinese. They should. Of course, they live what is not China, although we don't consider we are Chinese. And of course, they live with the Chinese. I grew up with the Chinese, playing with them. A lot of Chinese friends. I spoke Chinese to them. And it's good for them to learn Chinese. They should learn it. They're not against that. And that's why Uyghurs, a lot of Uyghurs come to US. You can find any one of them speak Chinese. They probably also speak English. So it's good. We welcome that. That's great. The more the language, the better. But the thing is, for a Chinese state, for the Chinese government, using that as an excuse to destroy our language, saying, oh, it's a market, it's China, they should study Chinese. If they don't speak Chinese, they don't get a job. Or because they don't speak Chinese, so of course the job goes to Chinese. Then the job doesn't just go to Chinese in East Turkestan or Tibet. They bring their workforce to the areas, give all the jobs to them. They don't even give the local jobs to the local Uyghurs like that. And in a lot of places in East Turkestan, you would see no Uyghur, no, they say Chinese only in employment. 只招汉人，他们公开的说，他们在招聘上的只招汉人，少数民族不要。When qualified, not just I'm not just saying like a BA degree Uyghurs. When some of them have masters, some of them educated from Europe came back, they don't have their jobs. They give the Chinese. That's discrimination. So it's like this. So it's like, I think the same goes with the Mongols, with the Tibetans, this is an aggressive assimilation policy imposed by the Chinese government against all those historically independent southern peoples. Yeah. Thank you.
我认为中国共产党才是真正的恐怖主义组织。所以我希望中国共产党能走和平的道路，不是暴力的道路。中国共产党不可能解决中国的问题，靠枪杆子或者是高压严打任何民族。
Dünyada yalgan gap qilishning hamma yalgan gapni deb bo'ldi. Deydigan yalgan gapni qolmadi.
中国共产党不可能永远欺骗世界人民，他一直在撒谎有关我们，但是到现在为止，世界人民也不相信中国政府的诽谤。中国政府现在说的谎言已经说完了，他也没有什么新的。
Mening xalqimning ashundaq zo'ravon masaladan kelib chiqishga Xitoy hukumati sababchi, ularning o'lishiga sababchi, qarshi tarafning o'lishiga sababchi.
我不是恐怖主义分子，我也不拥护恐怖主义。在我们东土耳其发生的很多事件，都是因为中国共产党高压严打政策而产生的。
Haqiqatni tunishida, o'zining tinchligi uchun boshqalarni Xitoy hukumatining qirg'in qilishining我
首先就是希望中国人民能真正了解真理，是真正了解中国共产党的本性，不要上中国共产党当，也就是不要让中国共产党欺骗汉民族，然后再消灭其他民族。
Xitoy xalqining men ishonaman Xitoy xalqining maqsadi bu emas. Ular unda qilmaydi, hukumatning siyosati ashta qilayotganligiga.
我知道汉民族是个善良的民族，他们没有什么野心，但是很多时候他们都受中国共产党的欺骗，上他们的当。
Şunun için meyli Uygur olsun, meyli Tibet olsun, meyli Mongol olsun, bu besilingan rayonların üstündeki yalgan gaplarni Xitoy hükümetinin yalgan yasab çıkan tarixlariga işenmeslerini ümit qilaman.
所以我希望中国人民不相信中国共产党所就是造的谣，也就是被侵占的这些土地，无论是东土、西藏、南北的话，不信仰中国政府就是所改变的这个历史，因为这不是真正的历史。
Şunun için Xitoy xalqi kurash qilish kerak o'zining vijdoniy, o'zining haqiqiy tinchligi uchun.
我希望中国人民为自己的良心，为中国自己真正的和平而奋斗。
Bunda qolganda biz birlashib qilamiz.
所以我们可以跟中国人民一起为自由民主。
Biz Jungo'nun qiyofatini o'zgartirib turib erkinlikka erishamiz.
然后我们就可以改变中国的全貌，全国人民都就享受真正自由。
Xitoy hukumati Jungo'ni siyosiy islohot qilishga besim ishlatishi kerak. Xitoy xalqi.
中国人民应该迫使中国共产党进行政治改革，没有政治改革，中国没有前途。